Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today is the official pre-release for the new Magic the Gathering set, Ixalan. And so what I'm going to be doing here today is, I didn't attend the pre-release or anything like that, but I did pick up both of the Planeswalker decks. The Planeswalker decks are pretty much the main item I plan on buying for Magic the Gathering going forward. So today is the pre-release. I picked both of these up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these up each in separate videos. And for anybody watching, I do apologize if I start like sniffling or coughing or sneezing. I am currently suffering from a pretty nasty cold, and I'm recording a few videos in the same day, so they're all kind of the same issue. So I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum, but if it does happen, I do apologize. So the first one that I think I want to open today is the, so I guess we got the two ones here. We got Jace, the Ingenious Mind Mage, and Hautli. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but Hautli, probably not Hautli, but anyway, the Dinosaur Knight. So I think I'm going to save, I think I'm actually going to save Jace for last, just where he's one of the more established and well-known Planeswalkers. So for the pre-release day, since Ixalan, not Ixalan, but since Ixalan is all about like dinosaurs and stuff like that, I think I'll open this one first. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Dinosaur Knight Planeswalker deck. So the first thing I want to do is just have a look at the packaging. Looks like it's got a 25, so this must be the 25th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. And the first thing I want to say right off the top is I really like the green color. I display all these boxes on my shelf, so I like open them from the bottom because there's a way to reseal them. And like the green color looks really nice. I like this quite a bit. And we got, of course, the artwork there on the side. Now on the back, they actually made a pretty significant change to it. So on the back, there is another piece of artwork for the Dinosaur Knight. And this is actually really nice again. Really nice artwork. So it has Hautli, Dinosaur Knight, summon massive dinosaurs and crush foes underfoot. And then it just says, Magic the Gathering is a strategy card game. Start playing with this battle-ready deck. Contains 60 card deck, 2 15-card boosters, deck box, strategy insert, and quick reference guide. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and we'll take a look at the cards inside. Alright, so we got it open here, and so basically what I usually do is just fold this over. For anyone who wants to know how I reseal these, and you can just tuck this right back in. So I mean, you don't have the stuff on the bottom. I think I discussed this in one of the last ones that I did, but just anybody who's wondering how I reseal these for display on my shelf, that's how I do it. And what's actually kind of nice is this one, normally you have to kind of cut one of the corners off in order to get it to go in, but in this particular one it actually fits in quite nicely without having to alter it, which is great. But we're not here for that, so let's open up, get this deck slid out here. So, the first thing that we're going to do is, if I can get, there we go, didn't want to come out. So here we have Hautli, Dinosaur Knight. So he's 4 colorless, a red and a white. He is a legendary Planeswalker, so that's one of the big changes with the new set, is Planeswalkers are now considered to be legendary cards. So the way that it works is, I guess you can now have multiple versions of a Planeswalker as long as they're not the exact same name. So I think like now, the way that, if I understand correctly, like I've seen decks that are like, Gideon decks, and you can now have like multiple Gideons, I guess, out at the same time because they're not the exact same card. It's kind of weird. I was hoping that they would free it up so that the Planeswalkers could, where they're legendary now, could double as commanders. Because I do have a deck that I'd like to make, a commander deck that I have Duretti from the Conspiracy set. And he's black and red, and I love to make like an artifact black and red deck with him as a commander. But anyway, I guess that's not the way that it goes, but let's move on here. So he comes in with 4 loyalty. His +2 ability is to put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 target dinosaur I control. His -3 is target dinosaur you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So that's pretty cool because it's not fighting. Like, they don't deal damage to each other. Excuse me. Excuse me. They don't deal damage to each other, it's just the dinosaur just flat out deals its damage to the target and the target doesn't hit back. So that's actually pretty cool and potentially a pretty powerful ability. And his -7 is dinosaurs you control get +4/+4 until end of turn. So that's that. I do have sleeves that I'll be putting this in momentarily, so I just don't have them handy with me because I didn't think ahead enough to actually have them next to me. So here we have the deck box itself. Oh boy, and that is going to be tough to get out. And I don't want to damage anything because I do use these boxes. There we go. Alright. So we just got a quick reference and just our strategy insert, which is pretty cool. I don't think I typically open these up, so now what's interesting is that it no longer has the deck list. These Planeswalker inserts, usually you're used to have the actual deck list on the back. So this one doesn't have that anymore, but it does have a little bit of info. It's got things like Double Strike, Flying, Vigilance, which must be abilities that some of these things get. And then on the back, it's just some information on joining a Deck Builders Toolkit League, which I've always thought would be kind of interesting to do. Something I've always kind of wanted to try out. And here we've got our booster packs. We'll save those for last. But here we have the deck itself. So let's just open this up. That one actually opened up quite nicely too. Alright, so I'm just going to read off the abilities for the rares, and if you want to see what the other cards do, then you can certainly just pause the video. But here we have the Goring Ceratops, 5 and 2 white, for a 3/3 with Double Strike. And whenever a Goring Ceratops attacks, other creatures you control gain Double Strike until end of turn. So that's actually a pretty beefy ability to give Double Strike to all of your fellow attacking creatures. So here we also have the next one is Sunblessed Mount. So he is 3, a red and a white for a 4/4. And his ability is when Sunblessed Mount enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Hautli Dinosaur Knight, reveal it, and then put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So this is the card that lets you search out the Planeswalker. Traditionally, they've been things like sorceries or enchantments, but this one's actually a creature, so it has a little bit more use there. And we got 2 of those. And we have the Burning Sun's Avatar. So it's 3 colorless and 3 red for a 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. Alright, so like I said, those are the only ones I'm probably going to read off, but then we have Kinjali's Collar, Hautli's Snubhorn, 2 of those, 3 of those, 4 of those, nope. And we have another Kinjali's Collar, which is, normally if there's duplicates they'll have them next to each other. Okay, there we go, there's the 4th one of those. So then we have Raptor Companion, 3/1, 2 of those, Tinali's Knight, so 2 of those, Frenzied Raptor, so just tons of dinosaurs, Territorial Hammerskull, 2 of those, Bonded Horncrest, Pterodon Knight, has flying as long as you control a dinosaur, it's pretty cool. Shining Aerosaur, 2 of those. And then we've got our enters the battlefield tapped dual land, so we got Stone Quarry, and there's probably going to be 4 of those. Yep, and then we got just our mountains. And actually, I haven't really looked over the artwork for the lands in this set yet, so let's just kind of have a quick look at those. So these are our mountains. I actually like that one quite a bit. And I think we already saw that one, yeah. So those are the different mountains. Alright, now the plains. Oh yeah, I guess that's a thing, is that some of these land cards have a, I guess it's supposed to have a hidden Jace that you can find. So let me just go back to the mountains here for a second. I don't know if he's in all of the lands or if he's just in one land of each type, but there's the hidden Jace on the mountain. So that's actually something that I think is kind of neat. The idea of showing, like, you know, one of your planeswalkers on the land cards themselves. I think that's actually kind of a cool thing, and I do like that. I think that's kind of clever. And I actually completely forgot about that until I saw him there, so I completely missed him the first time around. Alright, now we get to our spells. So we got Hautli's Spurring. I guess I should actually read this out. So this is an instant. Target creature gets it, so it's 1 red, gets +2/+0 until end of turn. But if you control the planeswalker, it gets +4/+0 until end of turn for 1 mana. So that's actually pretty good. And like, these ones aren't specific to the planeswalker that's here. Unlike the Goring, no, it's not the Goring Ceratops, but the Sun Blessed Mount, which only allows you to find the very specifically named Hautli Dragon Knight, or Dinosaur Knight. I keep wanting to say dragon. So this one's actually good with any of them. And for 1 mana, if you have the Planeswalker to get +4/+0 until end of turn at instant speed for 1 is pretty good in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a huge competitive player, but that still seems pretty good to me. Slash of Talons is 1 instant speed. Slash of Talons deals 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Lightning Strike for 2 deals 3 damage to target creature or player. 2 of those, and then the last 2 cards are Rallying Roars. So 2 and a white, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and then untap them. So all of the cards, like non-creature cards and non-land cards, are all instants. I don't think, none of them are like sorceries or enchantments, so these are all instant speed, which is interesting. So that is the deck itself. Overall, it looks interesting. I'm not actually crazy about this set. I was really hoping I was going to be more enthusiastic about it leading into it than I am. So this deck is interesting, but I do see a lot of high costing creatures that are in here. Now some of these aren't so bad. Like all the instants that are in the deck are pretty reasonable. I think 2 or 3 is the highest for any of them. But a lot of the creatures are like 5 drops, 4 drops, a couple of 3s, a couple of 2s, but it seems like for the most part a lot of this stuff, I mean there are 1 drops and stuff, but it just seems like there's a lot of like really high cost creatures. I mean there's 6 mana for the Planeswalker, which is standard, but then 6 mana here, 5 mana, you know, for this one, and you know, 7 mana. So, I mean, this is meant for casual play, so you're probably more likely to get up to those mana amounts, but it still seems like a lot of high costing creatures, so it'll be interesting to see how it matches up against the Jace deck. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so let's open up these booster packs. So I'm going to save, I think this, I'm assuming that's a Medusa. So let's save her for last. Similar to Hour of Devastation and Aether Revolt and that stuff, I probably won't be opening a lot of these booster packs. So these, you know, probably are likely to be the only ones that I do. I may pick up a couple of here or there. But we have Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, Nest Robber, Sunrise Seeker, River Herald's Boon, another Raptor Companion, Cobbled Wings. I do like this equipment, so it's 2, equip cost 1, but it gives target flying. Spell Pierce. So I have the invocation of this card, and it was always around like the $40 mark. And when Spell Pierce was announced to be in Ixalan, the price went crazy. Like I went on to TCG Player one day and it was listed at 150, which I didn't jump on at that point because it just seemed like such a huge jump that it was probably an error. And other sites didn't have it listed nearly that much, but it seems to be settling around $70 to $80 right now for the Masterpiece one, or the Invocation. But here is just the regular common version. So it's 1 blue, and counter target spell unless its controller pays an extra 2 mana. So that's pretty cool. Still debating on whether or not I'm going to trade in that Invocation. We'll see how finances and stuff goes going forward. Territorial Hammerskull, which we saw. Windstrider, so a 3/3 Merfolk Wizard that has flying and flash for 5 mana though. Verdant Rebirth. Till end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to its owner's hand, and you can draw a card, which isn't bad for 2. This is our first uncommon. Second uncommon is Rallying Roar. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and untap them. Atzokin Archer. 1/4 with reach. When it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight another target creature, so they deal damage to each other. And our rare is, legendary creature, Captain Lannery Storm. So, 2 and a red for a 2/2, but this is a legendary creature, so might be something to look at for commander decks, possibly. It has haste, and whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a colorless treasure artifact token with the flavor text, or the rules text, tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Whenever you sacrifice a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So that's actually something that could be pretty cool. I like that. And we have a foil Ruthless Knave. So a foil card's not bad. Foil uncommon even. So 2 and a black. It's an Orc Pirate he's a 3/2. 2 and a black again. Sacrifice a creature. Create 2 colorless treasure artifact tokens that allow you to add that mana, and sacrifice 3 treasures to draw a card. So overall, not terrible. And then we have the double-faced cards here, or the checklist for some of the double-faced ones. So there's ones that you can get that you can flip over when you meet a certain thing. And so that's pretty cool, and they just give you this so that if you're not playing with sleeved cards, then it's not going to stand out in your deck. And we just have an illusion token. So, legendary creature and a foil card, not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, last pack. I've always been kind of curious as to how they determine which booster packs go into these things. I'm hoping that they're just totally random. I've heard that they're mostly likely to contain like some of the cheaper rares or less valuable rares, but I don't think that's the case. I think I've seen or heard of people getting like Planeswalkers and really cool cards in some of these decks. So anyway, we have here Sun-Crowned Hunters, 5/4 for 6. Enrage. I think this is one of the new abilities. So whenever it is dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to target opponent. So this makes for a pretty good blocker, actually. Oh, excuse me. So that's actually kind of cool. Vampire Zeal. Target gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a vampire, it gains first strike. Desperate Castaways. Fire Shrine Keeper, and it has, so it's a 1/1 with Menace, which means that it has to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. And wow, an 8-mana ability, sacrifice Fire Shrine Keeper. It deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. That sounds like a lot of mana for that. It is a 1-drop though, so anyway. Ixalan's Keeper. Another 8-mana ability. Sacrifice it, target creature gets +5/+5 and gains trample on the turn. So wow, I guess 8 mana just seems to be the thing here. So we have Opt, scry 1, draw a card for 1, it's not bad. Jade Guardian. Shore Keeper, another 8 mana. Okay, yeah, that must be the standard. So 8 mana to sacrifice it to draw 3 cards. Not bad, I guess, late game. Sorry, I really do apologize. Sky March Bloodletter. Pretty cool. Demystify, destroy target enchantment. Enchantment Removal I found was something that was really missing from the Amonkhet block. I found that some of the enchantments were just really, like, once they were on, there just didn't seem to be a lot of way to get rid of them. So it's nice to see that there's some enchantment removal here. So our first uncommon is Kumena's Speaker. 1 green for 1/1. Gets +1/+1 as long as you control another merfolk or an island. So that's pretty cool. Raptor Hatchling. It has Enrage as well. So whenever it is dealt damage, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. Wow. So it replaces itself and then some. Third uncommon is Adonto Vanguard. And our rare is Arcane Adaptation. So it is 2 and a blue. As Arcane Adaptation enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type, in addition to their other types. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. Okay. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So I guess it just basically gives a creature type to all of your creatures. So if you have like tribal stuff, like, if you want everything to be a dinosaur to get, special bonuses or stuff like that, then I guess you can do that. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a swamp and, hey, a treasure token. So there you go. That is the Hautli. I'm probably still pronouncing that wrong. Let me know in the comments below, how do I actually pronounce that? But that is the Planeswalker deck for our Dinosaur Knight. And if any of you have this, let me know, what you think of it, if it's done well for you, or I'd be interested to know how some of these go. I probably won't get a chance to play this for a little bit, so it'd be interesting to know if anybody has this. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.